case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for.
A landmark 1973 Supreme Court case, Columbia Broadcasting System, Inc. v. Democratic National Committee, grappled with the interplay between First Amendment rights and the broadcasting sector. Piercing through the heart of the First Amendment's guaranteed right to free speech, the case explored if the amendment compels broadcasters to accept editorial advertising. The Democratic National Committee, DNC, and the Business Executives' Move for Vietnam Peace, BEM, kick-started the litigation after their attempt to purchase advertising slots on WTOP radio station in Washington, D.C. was rebuffed. Intent on expressing their standpoints on the Vietnam conflict, they ran headlong into WTOP's policy, which vehemently rejected selling time for spot announcements on contentious issues. The DNC and BEM registered their grievances with the Federal Communications Commission, FCC, arguing that this policy trampled on both the First Amendment and the Communications Act. The FCC, however, sided with WTOP, affirming that provided the station offered impartial coverage of public issues, it was under no obligation to accept editorial advertisements. Contrary to the initial ruling, the Court of Appeals declared that WTOP's policy was in breach of the First Amendment. This decision prompted further action and handed the case back to the FCC to devise procedures and guidelines for permitting access to editorial advertising. The Supreme Court, however, arrived at a different conclusion. Agreeing with the FCC, the Supreme Court deemed the ban on editorial advertisements unconstitutional. But the demand by the Court of Appeals to enforce a constitutional right of access to broadcast media was deemed incorrect. The court turned over the appeals court ruling, maintaining that it is not the role of the state to decide what broadcasters should air. Through the case, the Commission aimed to establish regulations that would align with First Amendment rights without compromising the editorial discretion of broadcasters.
Case briefs, and so much more. LSData's got what you're looking for. Visit lsd.law, elevate your mind. Leave the stress of class.